Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a deadly duo in love that loves reacting to some death battle.
Yes, we do.
So this is death battle, James Bond versus John Wick.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if you want all of our death battle reactions, check out the description of this video for a playlist. And if you want early ad-free access to our videos, we have a link to Patreon down below in the description of this video as well.
Yeah.
James Bond, the world-famous secret agent 007.
John Wick, the legendary hitman who did the impossible.
Whether they fly solo or operate on behalf of the government, the world is filled with professional killers of all shapes and sizes.
But which one of cinema's super assassins is packing parabellum, and which one will live to die another day? He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons.
Bond movies just have more to
skills
choose from,
Find
though.
out who would win a death battle. From the shores of Crab Key to the craps tables of Casino Royale, from Russia with Love to Moonraker at the edge of outer space, no man has saved the world more times than Bond.
James Bond. He's the OG action hero, the slickest Scot there ever was, the coldest warrior of the swinging 60s.
After a climbing accident in the French Alps took his parents, the young James studied abroad and graduated to the Ministry of Defense, just in time for World War II.
He rose through the ranks, quickly becoming a commander of the Royal Navy. And when you find the thing you're good at, in his case, wanting murder, never do it for free.
Oh, what the hell?
So after the war,
That was
James
interesting.
decided
Yeah.
on Her Majesty's Secret Service and became a special agent of MI6. And they were so impressed, he was given his first 2 state-sanctioned assassinations. With this baptism in blood, Bond was granted the legendary 00 status and a license to kill with impunity.
As the premier defender of the West, Agent 007 is a jack of all trades when it comes to kicking commie ass and terrorist ass.
Look at his face when he got shot in the head.
Like everyone's ass for the past 60 years. From the novels to the movies to the comics and games, he's been rebooted tons of times, but they're all still Bond.
Great game on
Bond is a
N64.
master of infiltration, disguise, acrobatics, driving, diving, skiing, boating, climbing, horseback riding, airplane pilot, swordsman, knife fighter, knife thrower, people thrower.
And deadliest of all, gamer. Bond carries his classic Walter PPK, among the world's first successful double-action semi-automatic pistols. While it only carries 9 rounds, its small size makes it optimal for concealment.
And a microdermal sensor in the grip coded to Bond's fingerprint means only he can fire it.
It even comes with unique ammo that breaks
Interesting.
apart upon entry and creates 8 exit wounds, traveling like a bullet, but hitting like a shotgun.
Especially deadly considering Bond has the golden eye of an expert marksman, able to take out a room of armed guards in a single second, or shoot the fuel tank of a helicopter from a speeding boat a quarter of a mile away.
He's just as deadly disarmed. Bond combines multiple martial arts like judo, boxing, Krav Maga, Muay Thai, and Jiu-Jitsu, allowing him to keep up even when outnumbered.
This mix of styles is likely the Welsh self-defense system known as Goshinkwai, which is taught by the modern Special Air Service.
Though that all pales in comparison to his greatest ability. F***ing laying down pipe. He's so proficient at seduction, it actually feels more like a superpower.
We're not kidding. He once seduced a female assassin sent to kill him so thoroughly, she threw herself in front of the bullet meant for him. She knew him for less than 2 minutes.
Oh my god.
Sometimes Bond does stuff I can only describe as superhero shit. Look at this. So why not follow that impulse and give him some superhero gadgets too?
Developed by MI6's resident quartermaster, Q, Bond's spy gadgetry often
that a Norelco shaver?
for problem solving and
It looks like it.
He's got a pen that'll explode after 3 clicks and disarm after a 4th, an Omega Seamaster watch that can shoot a laser beam, a cigarette that fires a miniature rocket, and C4 toothpaste that can be remotely detonated. Probably a safer bet than that pen, especially if you're a compulsive clicker like me. Wait, was I on 3 or 4?
He also occasionally wears a lightweight bulletproof vest, as well as a garrote wire for quiet kills and a grappling hook hidden within his belt buckle.
That's only the semi-normal shit. He's carried earbuds that give him super hearing, X-ray shades, ultrasonic cufflink grenades, a stun gas keychain, a cell phone taser, exploding remote-controlled drones, a nanosuit that turns him completely invisible, and a frigging jetpack. You've gotta have a hell of a pair of thunderballs to piss off a crazy Scot riding one of those.
But his greatest greatest weapon is the one, the only,
His dick!
the Aston Martin DB5.
Oh, I thought we were still talking about him. Never mind. This absolute beauty isn't just good looks. She's packing front-mounted machine guns, oil slicks, smoke screens, and of course, the ejector seat. Oh, and good luck trying to break in. This baby is insanely bulletproof. Like, just look at this. It won't stop. Still going. Still going.
Q has provided numerous vehicles over the years with ever more insane features, like a submarine transformation, light-bending holograms, and a remote control built into Bond's phone.
God, just look at him, living his best life. And why wouldn't he? He's a globe-trotting ladies' man with the UK Treasury as his personal credit card.
nice.
He's got the world in the palm of his hand.
But for some, the world is not enough. Though Bond's iterations may vary, one thing remains throughout. Behind that debonair smile and British wit is a broken, soulless shell. A man only good for killing.
I guess it's no surprise that a dude who smokes up to 70 cigarettes a day and routinely drinks enough to enter a coma might have a death wish.
Now, James wasn't always like this. Not long after getting his 00, he found love, and loved so much he left the Secret Service behind.
But there are some lives you can't escape, and some lives you can't save, no matter how hard you try. Sometimes all that's left is to kill the love inside you until all that matters is revenge.
There's no denying Bond's psychopathic tendencies. He's killed hundreds of enemy combatants over his career and might just enjoy the act of torture.
But what makes me respect him is he never forgets a pun afterward.
All that hate and regret wrapped up into one man with nothing to live for. The perfect assassin for a dying empire.
Bond is strong enough to hold his own against superhuman henchmen like Oddjob and Jaws.
Overcame
who
a
can lift
lobotomy with
van
the
off
power
ground.
of love.
He survived being blasted by a Stinger missile, falling hundreds of feet
Crush man's
into a
skull
river,
and
and having
flip-flops.
his eggs scrambled.
At his best, he's even fast enough to dodge gunfire nearly point blank and missiles while in free fall and still shoot people. This is the superhero shit we were talking about.
Time and time again, he's outsmarted criminal masterminds like Dr. No, Goldfinger, and Scaramanga, the man with the golden gun. He's even bested the worst of them all, his arch nemesis, the international terrorist, Blofeld.
In 2 different timelines, no less. And plot twist, in the second, Blofeld was Bond's long-lost adopted brother. Which, if I recall correctly, also happened in Austin Powers. That's why we love the old Scottish so-and-so. Who else could escape a giant space laser by kite surfing on a tsunami? What more can we say
my
about
God.
007?
That's
He's
so
got
ridiculous.
the best job in the business, and nobody does it better. You ever just screw up, like really badly, like make the worst mistake ever, so bad you're just for the rest of your life?
Yes. Let's lay out a hypothetical. You see a car that you like, but its owner won't sell. So, you follow him home, beat him senseless, steal his car, and kill his dog.
The dog his beloved wife gifted him after she died very recently. So yeah, pretty big mistake.
And this man, well, he just happens to be the single deadliest assassin in the entire world.
He may be called Baba Yaga, but he's not the boogeyman. He's the one you sent to kill the goddamn boogeyman, John Wick. So yeah, that's one pretty huge mistake.
The full story of this specter is almost non-existent, but rumor has it he was trained by the Ruskaroma crime syndicate from a young age, before moving to America and making a name for himself in its criminal underworld.
Terrifying enough to scare the living daylights out of even the most hardened murderers.
Wick is a master martial artist, combining several schools into an all-purpose fighting style that focuses on maximum efficiency with minimal effort.
Almost no one who has fought him directly has lived to tell the tale. So which specific forms he practices are for his eyes only. So why don't we look at the martial arts used to prepare for the movies by everyone's favorite immortal, Keanu Reeves.
Reeves combines Sambo, Aikido, Judo, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for defensive joint locks, throws, and wrestling moves to avoid as much damage to himself as possible while using his opponent's own weight against them.
Though his go-to is Krav Maga, which is designed to take all the best moves from various martial arts to make the ultimate fighting style.
While most martial arts are designed with other purposes in mind, like exercise, Krav Maga's entire goal is basically
Kicking
murder.
ass.
And boy, if that isn't Wick to a T. In his hands, literally anything can be a deadly weapon. Knives, swords, books, his belt. Shit, he once took out 3 guys with a pencil. Number 2 pencil. And thanks to John's precise understanding of the human body, he can target weak points and vital organs with ease.
But thanks to the Continental, he doesn't have to rely on writing utensils to execute his victims.
Imagine a chain of hotels around the world that serve as a front for a whole underground society of assassins. He can consult the wine steward's robust selection.
Pistols, revolvers, submachine guns, assault rifles, shotgun, plastic explosives, it's all on the menu.
Though Wick prefers his Heckler & Koch P30L, a polymer-framed semi-automatic handgun that holds 15 rounds of 9x19 Parabellum.
Which he wields like an artist does a paintbrush. Wick can have the entire rooms full of enemies before they can blink, once even taking out 7 armed guards in only 3 seconds.
He's the definition of accurate, almost never missing a shot, and that includes on horseback and motorcycle back. If he's got a view to a kill, you can bet he's taking it.
And he comes literally dressed to kill with his perfectly tailored, tactically lined suit jacket that is completely bulletproof. Even repeated gunshots from close range do nothing to him.
It also helps him blend into the shadows for some sick stealth kills, and even disappear in plain sight like the goddamn Batman.
Wick eventually joined the Tarasov mob and quickly became one of their top enforcers, a grim reaper who hunted their enemies with divine prejudice.
But maybe this angel of death was more human than we first thought. After years of being a badass, Wick wanted out of the mob to get married to the love of his life and retire. Wow, I wonder how that first date conversation went. Man, she must have really fallen for him. I guess he put the ass in assassin.
So his boss gave him an impossible task. He could leave if he wiped out every last one of the mob's enemies in a single night. Which he did, because human or no, he's still John Wick.
Dude, that's annoying. Stop it.
And he lived happily ever after. Well, until his former boss's snot-nosed son screwed up. Like, really badly. Great job, Theon. You never miss.
That wasn't just some dog, but a semblance of hope. The opportunity to grieve unalone. His last tether to a happy life. So Wick was back with a vengeance, prepared to kill every last person that got in his way until the whole of New York's criminal underworld had been razed by his bloody crusade. Over the course of the 3 movies, which span only about 2 weeks, Wick left over 300 bodies in.
Damn.
300.
Holy hell.
Running into him is like seeing the sky fall. You're going to die. There's no escape. He's survived being stabbed, rammed by cars, shot in the stomach, blown up, mutilated, and knocked off of a 10-story all within a fortnight.
Oh, and somewhere in there he found the energy to trek through the Saharan desert. And it's not like his injuries from the previous movie had time to heal, or the ones from the movie before that.
We cannot emphasize this enough. John Wick is unstoppable.
He's strong enough to toss around full-grown men, snap bone, and body slam 2 assassins through a bulletproof glass floor.
Wick absolutely annihilated his former Tarasov employers, the Neapolitan crime family, Camorra, and fended off an international army of assassins attacking him at random, one after the other, every few minutes.
Even after being declared excommunicado by the Continental, bereft of his former resources, he killed every last soldier sent after him by the High Table.
With barely a quantum of solace to rest. Like we said, completely unstoppable. Outgunned, outmanned, it doesn't matter. John Wick lost everything in the world that meant anything to him. And that means he won't stop killing until there's no one left, or he dies trying. And good freaking luck with that.
John Wick for $5.
007 for 20.
Holy shit! Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I was gonna go James Bond for $5 again, but especially since like it seemed like they were pulling from the video games too from James Bond. I'm like, if they're pulling from video games, that's like, I don't know. It adds another dimension to it, and it's a little bit tougher to. There's more absurdity to draw from. So I was gonna go with 007 just because like I felt like he had more stuff to pull from for like insane feats that he pulled off. But I went with John Wick because I felt like also James Bond is more kind of like spy-esque and not really taking on a ton of people in the same realm like I've seen John Wick do, and like in the quick succession. His is more like, you know, seduction and deception and outsmarting his opponents in the long run. So I went up with John Wick, and I just kind of like John Wick more, so I wanted to root for him. So $5.
So I'm gonna be honest, I want John Wick to win.
Okay.
My going with 007 was because, to one thing you said, they're pulling from the video games. I'm like, video games break all kinds of rules.
Yeah.
Which gives 007 an advantage, I think. The other piece is there is so much content out there for James Bond.
Yeah.
James Bond has been around for decades. John Wick is fairly new. So I feel like they'll have more to justify a James Bond win because they'll have a lot more to draw from. I want it to be John Wick. Like I did not see John Wick for the longest time because I heard that a dog died. Then I saw John Wick, and like the first 15 minutes are probably one of the most horrible things I've ever seen in filmmaking. And it destroyed me. Ugly crying, the whole 9 yards. But then we get to see John Wick do what John Wick does best. And it was so great. And I think there are a few things in this world that could make me consider homicide, but messing with my dogs is definitely up there. And so it's also very relatable, and you can't help but like cheer for John Wick to commit murder in the most creative, heinous, and painful ways possible when you know what they've done to his dog. So yeah.
Okay.
All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
I mean, also it's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
So
there's that too.
There's that.
Ooh. Okay.
Is not one to be taken lightly. Be careful, 007. And happy hunting.
Nice.
Concern is always touching, Q. Vodka martini, shaken, not stirred. What can I get you, mate? Drinks are on me.
I prefer to be alone.
Unfortunately, I wasn't asking, Baba Yaga. Now you can come with me, or we can do this here.
Killing isn't permitted on company grounds.
Lucky me.
Oh!
Seems you've got me at a disadvantage. You won't mind giving a dead man walking one last smoke?
What does MI6 want with me?
Your reputation precedes you. I'll be sure to keep up.
No, you won't.
Ha! Nice. You gonna shoot the bullet? Yeah. Ooh! That's not a move.
I'll admit, it does feel like John Wick's gonna win this. Like, there's just something about the brute strength, determination, brutality thing that he's got going on. And he's not dependent on so many gadgets.
To be entirely honest, I lost count.
Oh yeah, he's calling the car. That's definitely an advantage.
Not anymore.
Nice. Great.
Oh.
Oh, damn.
What comes around goes around, as they say.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bond, come in. What's the mission status?
Smashing. Positively smashing.
Oh, do grow up, 007.
I never thought Wick could lose, but I guess I'll never say never again. Though his skills and brutal tenacity would have saved Wick initially, against James Bond, you only live twice.
You mean once, right?
I know what I said.
Well, despite
Brutal
all that,
tenacity.
Wick met
Yep.
his
He said it
match,
better.
Agent 007.
And match is the optimal word here. Wick may have been an expert martial artist, but Bond has actually practiced several of the same styles Wick has, and has been shown to be just as skilled a fighter, even defeating master martial artist himself.
Wick's ability to shatter a floor of bulletproof glass definitely makes him superhumanly strong, but Bond has fought off similarly powerful henchmen in the past.
And while Wick's speed and accuracy with a gun may look unbeatable, Bond's is just as impressive.
He's landed accurate shots just as well as Wick ever has, but more importantly, he has a faster quick draw.
That's right, despite being played by Neo himself, Wick has never dodged bullets. Bond, on the other hand, has, and that superior speed gave him an edge in both close quarter combat and on the draw.
Yeah.
Since both had body armor, the fight probably wasn't going to be won by guns alone. And that's where Bond held his biggest advantage, his gadgets.
There was no way Wick would see an exploding pen or a laser watch coming, and that's the whole point of Bond's gadgets. They're seemingly normal, everyday objects that'll take his enemy by surprise.
Given time, Bond has always used these to come up with game-winning strategies, even against numerically superior foes, especially with his more absurd technology like the invisible nanosuit and remote-controlled explosive drones.
Wick's endurance might be mind-blowing, but he isn't invincible.
He can keep fighting even on death's door, but the deadliness of Bond's trick weapons would not have given him that option.
Diamonds are forever, but against someone just as skilled with an arsenal straight out of science fiction, Wick's luck definitely wasn't. Bond may have been the spy who loved me, but against Wick, he was going to live and let die. And you can bet tomorrow never dies. Nailed it. Look, I just had to fit the last few movies in, okay? Oh, wait, shit, I forgot about Octopussy.
The winner is Bond. James Bond.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, with that, for the first time this year, Bethany is taking the lead.
I'm in the lead?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
You got 240 and I have 230. I was $15 ahead. So even if I would have bet 5 like I was gonna bet on James Bond, then we would have been tied. But yeah, so you pulled ahead. You're $10 ahead now.
I didn't realize our gap had shrunk that much. I really thought I was still so far behind it didn't even matter anymore. So hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I guess it depends on who you ask if it's cool or not, but it's still a matter of opinion. But no. Fun battle, and shouldn't have bet against James Bond. I mean, he just does have like too much ridiculous like feats that he's done over the years. That's why I only bet 5 on Wick, because I just really liked the John Wick movies, and I've seen some James Bond films, but I haven't been as drawn to it, which I don't know why, because I mean it's just kind of like, old school John Wick. So maybe I should just give it a shot more and watch some more James Bond movies.
I will say I haven't watched a ton of James Bond movies either, but this sort of like recap of his character did make me think, wouldn't it be fun to do a James Bond marathon and kind of like go through all of the films and the best films and see the evolution of this character.
Mm-hmm.
It's also kind of an evolution of action films too, because James Bond's been such an iconic character within the action space. I might have won like monetarily in my character one, but I still feel pretty crappy about it. It did a great job with like John Wick's phone with the picture of his wife.
Great
so, like,
ending, yeah.
Yay, I won. Now I get to feel bad. Like I can't even properly be excited about this win because I feel like shit that John Wick died.
I thought for sure you were gonna bet on John Wick too. I thought we were gonna have the same bet again. I thought we were both gonna do $5 on John Wick. So I'm like, the whole puppy thing. She's gonna bet on John Wick, and she's like, I gotta bet on the guy that fought for his dog. But no, you did not let emotion rule you this day, and you won. You won because of it. And
I did not let emotion rule me this day, and I won.
Yes. Let us know what you thought about this down below in the comments. And if you want all of our Death Battle reactions, check out the description of this video for a playlist. And if you want early ad-free access, we have a link to Patreon as well.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for checking out our reaction for Death Battle John Wick versus James Bond, but just keep in mind
That our reaction is definitely not definitive.